Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics, episode 14. Today we are making this. All of this has been made in After Effects and all of this has been made from scratch. If you want to know how to make it, I will teach you step by step how you can make it yourself. Okay, here we are in After Effects. We are going to start off with a new composition. This composition is going to be big, 2560 by 2160, and that is because this one will contain a texture, and we're going to do that straight away. It is going to be this texture, which is exactly the same amount as our comp is. So yeah, it is a cardboard texture, is going to be our main texture. It is this big because I may need to rotate it, and yeah, well, you'll see, you'll see. Anyhow, we're going to immediately make a new one. It is going to be, as usual, 1280 by 720. These, by the way, are just 6 screens linked together, so 3 high, 2 wide, and that is why it's this big. Yeah, I made 30 seconds on the timeline. I won't need as much, but it's easier to cut it off in the end than to get new time on it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take comp 1, put it in here, and that's all we need to do. So yeah, we're immediately going to go on with a new composition, and this composition, comp 3, is going to be the one that we work in. So composition 3 contains composition 2. So why do I do this so difficultly? Well, first of all, because if I draw in this, so let's say I make a mask in this, so this is comp 2. And I want to set this to a certain number. Let's say I want this to run from 100 to 300 and from 100 to 300. Then it should be over here, but you can see it's not. It's all the way over here because it takes the original texture, well, the original composition into account. This composition has to be this big, otherwise the texture doesn't fit and it won't show up. This one is smaller, but still has the big texture in it. By the way, I am going to delete this. And then this one will actually accept our masks the way we want it. So we're going to draw some kind of square here. Well, a rectangle, I mean. It shouldn't be a square because that would look weird. So hit M or just find your mask in another way. We're going to go from 320 to what's that then? Hang on. No, it's the middle is 640, so it should be 340 to 940. And top we can go from, what's that, to, oh come on, 260. Yeah, let's go 260 to I don't know, 460. That becomes then. Oh man, I'm so bad at these calculations. Yeah, that's too small. We need to have a little bit bigger. So 210 to 510. There we go. Instead of this, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to make it a subtract mask, and we're going to start. Not start. We're going to make this mask appear over the first second or so. Maybe a second and a half, I don't know, something like that at least. So we're going to set this as a mask, and then well, just go to this and set the numbers for this to the actual middle, which would be 640, 640, and then here it would be 360, 360. That way it's disappearing and it will just open up a window. So yeah, in the meantime, let's do something fun with it. I really don't know what. I wanted to rotate it as well, but rotation is kind of a hassle. We're going to do it anyway. So from here till the 1.5 seconds, we're going to rotate exactly 180 degrees, and it's going to be, so this is going to be 180 at 1.5 seconds, and then 0 here. So we're going to plus 180, and we are going to rotate this one from, what was it, 0 to 1.5 seconds, right? So we're going to rotate this one from 0 to minus 180 in the same amount of time. If you're having trouble finding your keyframe, so your 115 in this case, page up, page down can help. You can also use the zoom in bar over here. I don't know what it's called, but it zooms in your time, which is pretty handy. So what this does is it will keep the texture in place. As you can see, the texture stays in place. The problem is, of course, that the texture is not in this comp. So the texture is in comp number 3, which means that we will have to put comp number 3 on here as well. Not as a total thing. So I'm not going to replace comp 2 with comp 3. Actually, sorry, it's in comp 2, of course. I'm not going to replace the entire comp with comp 1. That's what I wanted. I'm just going to make sure that I fill in where it kind of left off. So comp 1 will rotate with the other one, and hopefully that is not an issue. Actually, it is an issue. Let's see the rotation on this one. So rotation 0 to, yeah, I will have to rotate it backwards basically. So it's going to rotate from 0 to 180 over the same 1.5 seconds. And now I will have to cut out the parts that I don't need or do need, or whatever you want to call that. And I'm going to have to draw some masks. So I want to have this comp be, well, so this part to be visible. So anything that is not that part should be, or could be, invisible. Doesn't have to be, but and we're going to hit the subtract. Oh, that's not the right one. I need to go to masks here and hit the subtract. So this way, hopefully, it will stay in place, all of it. And whoa, that is only not enough. Sorry. I do need to extend that a little bit, because apparently I underestimated that quite a bit. So you only have to drag 2. Now we're going to go to shape, reset to rectangle, and that should do it, hopefully. So yeah, just make sure it doesn't touch anywhere and there are no black spots anywhere. So yeah, so this is our first zoom basically. This is the first thing that happens, and you can already see that I'm using quite a lot of stuff just to get here. The problem is I want this this texture to stay the way it is, and I also want to have this well, this cutout happen. And to do that, yeah, we have to take some steps like this. So next up is we're going to wait for, let's say, half a second. Because what's going to happen, well, actually more than half a second. What's going to happen is layers are going to be stacked on top of each other, and they're going to animate one at a time. So if I take, let's say, 3 frames in between them and I have 20 layers, that means that 2 seconds long, the motion that I just did will be replicated behind it. And so it takes 2 seconds for the thing to stabilize. So if I take 1 second of pause, I still have movement, but I don't have like all the movements together, which is not what I want. So it would be good to have movements, but not to have like 60,000 movements at the same time. So yeah, currently I'm planning on 20 layers. You can make more or less if you want to, and yeah, you have to address this accordingly. Also, the timing is quite important. I'm planning to do 3 frames between them, but you can of course do more or less, and once again you have to adjust for that. So let's say we have something coming in from the side. I can actually just go for a new one. That would actually be smarter. So instead of continuing on this one, I'm just going to go introduce a new comp and just draw onto this one. This one is going to have a triangle type shape. It's going to look something like this. And this one is going to come in. There's going to be one coming in from the other side as well. I'm going to have to adjust this a little bit, obviously, because that is the way it is. Yeah, don't go all the way over there. I don't know where to go with this one. I think over here somewhere. It should be, if you do it correctly, it should be symmetrical. I'm not going to manage that. I'm going to try, but I don't think I will manage to actually make it symmetrical. Then again, I can also make it super asymmetrical so that it doesn't look like it's asymmetric, or that it doesn't look like I drew it wrong. It just looks like it was designed this way. So it's kind of a trick if you don't want to be super precise. Just make it super imprecise. Then it looks like you designed it that way. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to attempt to make this into the shape that I wanted to have. Yeah, okay. This shape is going to start at the moment that this one kind of times out. So we're going to put it over here. So the mask path point. And we're going to just make sure that this layer doesn't exist before here. So at this point, it's going to move forward. Yeah, currently it's already moved forward. And we're going to take 1 second to do that, maybe even more. I don't know how fast this animation needs to be, or rather how slow. So I'm just going to try it out. If it's not good, you will see that afterwards and you can adjust your own accordingly if you want to. So we're going to take this entire mask path just by clicking on mask path and then just dragging it back. Then yeah, if you're having trouble focusing or getting this to the right place, just hold shift and it will allow you to do whatever you want with the mouse. As you can see, it will not move, it will only move in one direction. You can have well, only a few directions. You can have 45 degrees or you can have 90 degrees. So there are 8 directions and you should be able to work with that. So place it as close as possible to that, but not inside yet. So it's going to move upwards. And as I said, we're going to have one on the other side as well. I'm going to just duplicate this mask and hopefully that will work out for me. Okay, so I'm going to have to draw a similar shape, preferably the same shape. And all I have to work with are these feet. So we're going to just select these two, then drag them out, hold shift, and then I'm going to try to get both of them to the position where I would like them. Let's first get this one. Actually, it needs to, yeah, well, I'm first going to draw them out left to right and then top to bottom, but we'll see. Yeah, this is about right. Okay, now let's make it a little bit bigger, I believe. Oh. Yeah, don't hold shift while you try to, or you start dragging, because it will deselect your point, and yeah, that's not what you want. So I guess that didn't work out. This one will have to go over here somewhere. So yeah, This one now still has the original tag on it, so like where it came from. So just delete that and select the entire mask path once again and drag it away, holding shift in the end. No, no, not good. You need to, of course, move to the right position first. So yeah, just drag it to just outside, and now it should look okay-ish. Yeah. Okay, at this point, I guess we can move them together, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to join them up, and yeah, I just selected a random point into the future. I will address that in a moment. And that should be just about the center of it. So pick up both of the points and just move them forward to, let's say, 5 seconds. So yeah, it will take a little bit. As I said, you have a lot of residual motion underneath, so it doesn't matter if it's slow, although I don't want it to be too slow, I guess. Yeah, you can preview what it actually looks like, although this motion is not nearly what's going to be on screen. Yeah, now let's make it, I don't know, disappear somewhere. It would be good if we could just pick up these points and then... Can we do both masks at the same time? I don't know if this actually works, but it would be great if it did. 6 seconds, yes. We're going to just move it up. Yep. There we go. I guess the rest needs to be moved upwards as well. I don't know why I'm doing this so difficultly, but it's the way it is, apparently. I don't want them to overlap. Yeah, I don't want my mask to overlap. It looks really weird, but you can already see that because you get these cuts in it. So yeah, just like that, everything will disappear to the top part. That should go over there. I don't even know what's going on here. Well, let's see how much I screwed it up. It's not too bad, I guess. This is the top one though, so it should stay on top. And this one actually reversed. Kind of screwed it up a little bit, but it's not too bad. So it makes a little bit of a more interesting motion, I guess, than it would normally do. Yeah, it's oh, now it reversed, and then it reversed back. Okay, excellent. I had the wrong position. There you go. Now let's try again. So it meets up, then they move upwards. So this might not be like the most spectacular of animations that you've ever seen, but that is because I'm just making it up as I go. Of course, you can design this all you want. I'm just trying to show you what you need to do to make it happen on screen. I'm going to copy this and hold this for like half a second. And then this will move in 1 second. That's actually quite fast. Yeah, let's assume this is our first move then. And it ends here. And then our sorry, our comp2 here is going to be the next one to do something. So at this point, the point we are currently, we're going to move half seconds into the future. We're going to put a keyframe for comp2. Well, the original one, the one with the square, and we're going to just rotate the square, I guess. That sounds right. So let's see if we can. Oh, let's see if we can actually do that without messing it up too much. So these should go over here. I guess should place them like here, and then these should go over here. I don't know where the originals were, but I wanted to reverse. And let's see if we can actually line that up nicely. I don't know if these values mean anything at the moment, because I don't want to reset it. Come on, I just set a point for you. Oh, I overwrote the point. Excellent! Paying attention. So yeah, I'm going to 7 seconds once again. I'm just going to copy paste the point that is already here. Copy paste. And this way, once it moves out, this one actually rotates. It's not rotating currently, but it will. So yeah, that's good. We're going to pick up these points. Well, I guess this point first, move it over there. This point over there. Now the other one apparently needs to disappear completely because it's kind of screwing up my mojo here. So go to the last position, move one frame into the future, just grab all of it and just drag it out of the way. Which one are you? Or this one, right? Nope, that's the other one. This one. So yeah, now it's out of the way, and we can reuse the layer if we want to. We're not going to want to, but still. Yeah, so we were over here trying to make this work. And we're going to just put this into a nice big square. And yes, I am aware that there's a layer underneath it. But that is our big layer. So let's see, did we do this correctly? Yeah, okay, now it flips, of course. So I'm going to put that halfway through. Oh wow, that was exact. So it's going to rotate like this, and then like this, which is not the way I intended that. So apparently top and bottom need to be reversed here. And we're going to do that. So top to bottom, and bottom to top. Yeah, this is terrible positioning. I can definitely do better than this. You can of course work with a layer underneath it where you just draw on where all these points are so you can position them better. So the thing is, I wanted this movement to be, well, kind of interesting because, well, the layers underneath it are going to replicate it. And that is just awesome. No, let's just make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it like this big. Okay, Seems straight most of the lines, rather horizontal or vertical. I don't know. Can't really tell, of course, but yeah, seems okay. So the bottom layer then, that's the one that actually compensates for, well, all of the texture missing. We're going to have to address that one as well. So at this point, the mask path is going to have to change. So up until this point, it's all good. Then here, it's going to have to change to be a little bit bigger. There you go. Hopefully nothing runs out of it this time. Nope. That seems fine. And here it's going to be even bigger, and hopefully that will work out. Yep. So no texture missing anymore. Currently we could just delete the layer entirely. Well, from this point onward. Because we did have the problem in the beginning. So yeah, that looks okay. So currently we have these this movement now. It should work out. And now let's do something interesting and make something new happen. So once again, we are just going to start off with a fresh, well, canvas, because it's just easier to work with. Let's take a second of silence and hit Control-Shift-D. Well, actually I can't, but because my recording software doesn't agree with that. So at this point we have a new layer. The old layer should disappear as well. Well, it should have disappeared a long time ago, but at least we can remove it now, just so we know what's going on. It should actually disappear right here. And then, yeah, the other one, this one, should stay here. That's the hole that we made. So this one is just going to be, yeah, it's going to be our next thing that's going to happen, which is going to be, I really don't know. No, that's the wrong layer to draw that in. This is the layer I wanted. So yeah, hit M for mask, go to shape, yeah, just whatever, make it an ellipse. It's going to run from, I don't know, let's say 90 to 290. That's 200 big, and from 500 to 700. There you go. It doesn't matter at this point because we're going to have to change it eventually anyway. And it is going to appear from here, go to the middle, and then do stuff. I don't know. Maybe come in from the side a bit, just to avoid not being entirely in the middle and things like that. Just the easy solution, man. The easy solution. So for 1 second, we are going to come in, and it is going to have to be connected with something to the wall, because, well, we're making something out of cardboard. It has to at least appear to be attached, right? So yeah, hit the M until you see this, then hit this, and then reset the rectangle. If you don't agree with the shape, you can of course address that. I'm just going to do it like this. And then I'm going to set the mask path to animate. Put this obviously on the position that I just was, because that's how you do that. You first change everything and then you say like, yeah, that wasn't correct. Just being stupid today. So yeah, now it's attached. It's not entirely the right position here, but what can you do? There you go. Just drag that into place. And then what is this thing going to do? It's going to turn into something else. Say over the next second. It is going to sprout some fangs. I don't know what they call them. It's going to turn into a sun. I could address it like that. Yeah, that was kind of pointless because it's going to overlap the other one. So yeah, they can be super even if you want to. They can also be super uneven like I'm making currently. And it's all up to you. So hang on, it came in, then it's going to, yeah, then it's going to create these things. And it's going to turn into a classic sun. And if you want to make something else, feel free to do so. And of course, yeah, I can drag this one out, but it overlaps the other one. Oh, I'm still going to, because I'm going to try to rotate it now. Can I actually do that? I could if I made mask 2 into another layer. So duplicate this one, delete mask 1 from this one, delete mask 2 from the other one. And now I could actually rotate this. It is going to be quite a hassle, but, well, I just want to show you that it can be done. So let's go to 13, hit the R, and then set it to 2 revolutions or something like that, maybe even 1 revolution in 2 seconds. That should be enough. So yeah, if you don't agree with the rotation, then with the translation during the rotation, you can see it's a little bit of a translation there. It's wobbling a bit. You can actually address that as well, of course. It's not too hard to do. So let's set one more mask path thingy before the rotation starts. So rotations should start here and end, I guess, 1.5 seconds would be good as well. Doesn't really matter. Now let's make it 2. Let's make it 2 anyway, because we can. So yeah, it's going to rotate a little bit, and then it's going to contract into 1 point, and then it's going to get the hell out of there. So up until 13.5 seconds, this is going to be the same mask. And by the way, why this is such a hassle is because we now need to rotate the what's it called? The texture. So we need to rotate the texture between 11 15 and 13, 15, but that means that all the things rotate, so we need to counter-rotate all of them. That's why it's a hassle. So yeah, you can of course say, well, I'm accepting that the texture moves here, but I'm going to say, well, it's a lot of work, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to make a new composition and put the texture in that one. So put a new texture in that one. Yeah, it doesn't matter, whatever. And then we're going to change this composition. So composition 2 here by composition 4. Just click it, hold Alt, and then drag it on there. So this one can now rotate without disturbing the other ones. That is how we're going to do that. So now we're going to... Why is there no rotation anymore? Must have taken that out accidentally. It is still going to rotate for 11:15 to there by 1. And this one is going to rotate 11:15 rotation 0 to 13:15? I don't know, 13. It should be 13:15. Yeah, so 13:15 now. It's going to rotate to -1. And that should solve the problem. Yeah, so the external, everything outside of the sun didn't rotate now, because it's a different layer, and now this one does rotate. So that's how we're doing it. We're making a new comp, and we're changing it to the rotation. So now we're going to collapse the sun onto itself. It's going to take 1 second. M for mask. And we're going to just collapse it onto the 0. So 3, no, that's not 3, that's 640, 640, 360, 360. Set to ellipse. That way it collapses it as an ellipse. And then we're going to just drag it over here to make sure it actually collapses to the right spots. And then the moment this is over, so 1 frame afterwards, I guess, we can actually move it up a little bit. Put it over there. So the moment this is over, 1 frame after, we're going to just split this layer, delete the layer, so the sun no longer exists, the sun layer. And then this one that's the little thingy, is going to move and do its own thing. So give it a keyframe, and it's going to move backwards as well. And let's say ½ a second. Actually, that's not enough. Let's make it more. 1 second. Hold Shift once again, and hang on. That wasn't the one I wanted. Just place it just underneath there. And then 1 frame on, it is going to disappear as well. Split layer. And delete that. So currently all we have left is these 2 layers, which is exactly the way we wanted that. So we can do plenty of more things, but we're going to keep it with this. For now, you can make all kinds of other things, but we still have to do the thing that we actually came for, which is the layering. So let's make a new composition. Yeah, we haven't heard that one before, right? And this is the final product. 1280 by 720, 30 seconds, that's all good. We're going to put comp 3 into this one. And that is like the one with everything in it currently. So it's only working up until like 15 seconds. Well, 16 I guess. But that is quite alright. We're going to hit the P for position. We're going to alt-click the stopwatch, which gives us this, and then we're going to say plus 2 brackets index 0, 0, 0, 5 times index. Yeah. It doesn't really matter the number, but yeah, I'm taking 5 times index. The index is the number that is over here, so the layer number. If we make multiple layers, they will stack up behind each other, well, in front of each other in this case, so I need to be minus. You can do it in front of each other as well. It's all good. You can make whatever you want. Oh, I also want to make a shadow on it, so shadow, no, drop shadow. And it will drop a shadow 50%, distance 5, that's the same distance we had. Yeah, let's see what this looks like if we have multiples. So just select it. After you've done that, just duplicate it like 4 times, so you have a total of 5. Then, as I said, 3 steps in front, so 1, 2, 3, that's page down. And then just move the next one up there. Oh, we're going to zoom in because this is going to be messy otherwise. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. So we have 5. We're going to duplicate those, drag them to the bottom. And here you can see why we only did 5. We can now drag the entire thing up until where we wanted it to be. 3 on, duplicate one more time, and then we have the 20 layers that we came for with 3 frames in between them. So what this now looks like is this. You will see that every time a new one opens, it will generate this little effect, and it will just be like a cool effect. So the new things are already coming in before the old thing is actually over. And you can see that it actually generates quite a good effect. Yeah, it may be not the best thing to do with this, because you can do way more with it. But yeah, you can come up with your own stuff. And it definitely opens up a whole lot of possibilities. And I think it's a cool effect. So yeah, here's our sun. Let's see what that looks like. It actually starts expanding. And it may actually be too many layers because, well, we kind of have a mess. And this actually looks kind of cool. Wow. And now they all shrink. This is why I shrunk it actually. It actually looks pretty cool. And then it just completely retracts everything. And that's the end of the animation. So yeah, lots of layers. We can actually try with half the layers by deleting these and see what that looks like. Maybe that's actually better. So yeah, you have to make up for yourself what you want, how many frames between the layers, how many, well, everything. You have to decide that all for yourself. I think this looks a little bit better. It's not as messy. But yeah, it's all about what you want, and you can of course also vary the layers, so sometimes do multiples, because you can just cut them out when you don't need them anymore. This doesn't look, well, this looks cool still. Yeah, so I think this is the way to go, way more than the 20 layers. And it's all up to you. So I just wanted to demonstrate the effect. And I think it's a really cool effect. I think you can do some pretty nice things with it. And it is definitely not too much work. So anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.